All right, here we go. I'm catching up on all these. Sorry it took so long. I just realized that I have the wrong date up there, so let's fix that real quick. 20, 2025 Easter. Okay, now it is correct. So, let's get started. Let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up my notes. I've been taking notes so we can get through these a little bit faster. So let's go to 1201. All right. So that might be a little loud for you guys. Let's fix that. That's really loud for me. So I'm going to put my headphones on. And then you don't have to hear the other stuff. There we go. All right. Let's try that again. So we're at 1201. And let's take a look here. At 1201, all the cameras are moving. So let's take a look here. So let's take a look here. We got all these. We got one camera moving. Where is it? All right. Well, regardless. So right now you can see camera 2 and camera 3 are moving, and that's super unhelpful. It is one thing that we definitely still need to get better at is trying to look up before you move, make sure nobody else is moving around. That's probably the biggest thing. Let's go. Maybe it was before that. Yeah. Right here. 2 cameras moving again. That's where I saw it. All right. 1243. All right. So this is I have written down. Yeah. Okay. So this shot right here. This is a weird shot. I had to use it. Oh, I didn't end up using it. I don't think. No, I didn't. This is this looks like a bit of a confused shot here, just because like are we trying to focus on the cross? Are we trying to focus on Josh? We're trying to focus on those palms there. Are the flowers? This shot doesn't feel like it's got a subject that it's picked. Okay, let's move on. 1339. What does it say there? Camera 2. Okay, so camera 2 here. It's a shot of Morgan here. And this is I mean, it's an okay shot, but there's just so like she's a little too close to center, especially since she's at like a 90-degree angle here. So let's what I would hope for would probably be something more along the lines of this, or maybe if you're scooting out a little bit like this, at least getting her over there a little bit more, because there's just it adds tension to the shot that we don't need. So maybe even like right here, split the difference there, just so it doesn't feel like there's a ton of empty space behind her. Yeah, we can see Dan in the background, but because she's facing this way completely, it definitely adds to the tension of the shot, kind of feeling a little bit tense. Oh, before I forget, none of this is meant to be hurtful. All this is meant to be constructive, and we're all learning together. I need to get better at remembering to say that at the front end, because we're all trying to get better, and we all want to be better. That is why I try not to mention any names, except for Emma. This is all your fault. All right. 1454. Oh. Well, look at that. What do we got here? Oh, we got a blank spot. Right here. I don't know what happened there. That is camera 3. I guess we got a blank spot. Try to make sure that we're always recording. Just be aware if that little red light is on or not. 1545. That is the wrong spot. 1545. All right, so 1545. Let's take a look at this here. This is a great supplemental shot. And by supplemental shot, I mean not the main worship leader camera. I guess it was clean-ish here, but then we ended up with that. So when it comes to the worship leader cam, you kind of want to make sure it's no, we don't kind of. We want to make sure it is 75% clean. So there's a couple of things that probably need to be fixed in this shot here. First is there is a ton of headspace up here. And that would be fine if this was the third we were going for, but right now it's kind of you want the eyes in the third. You want the eyes, not the top of the head. You want the eyes, because that's where we want it. She's kind of in this third here, so that's not that big of a deal, but it's the horizontal line that we're looking for here. And we would want that to be kind of, we want less headroom, basically. And we want to see more of Morgan in this shot. I wonder if we can find an example of a good. So let's take a look at Dan here. He is. This is what I'm talking about when I mean 75% clean shot. You can see 75% of the shot is open, and he's in it. You could also argue here that you could use a little bit less headroom. I think the shot is mostly just fine. But yeah, so you can see right here, it's majority clean. We can see Dan. We can see what he's doing. With the shot of Morgan, it just feels really cramped and a little claustrophobic. And yeah, if we're gonna get a clean worship leader shot, and I believe she was singing the lead here. Yeah, she was leading here. So when you have the leader, we want to get as clean a shot as you can. If you want to do a frame within a frame, that's totally fine. We just want to be we want to be subtle with it, kind of like how this shot of Dan is right here. All right, let's move on to section 3. C. All right, 621. Camera 3 was not ready. It is okay to not be ready. But it is not okay to give a thumbs up before you're ready. Like, you want to make sure the little red, it says REC in red in the top right of your camera, and that you're going before you give a thumbs up. So camera 3 wasn't ready, and that's a no-no. All right, 6:35. All right, so again here we're talking about just 75% clean, and I'm pretty sure camera 4 here is the one that's supposed to be the worship leader camera. And so if we could just get, I would maybe even, if you could just move to the right and move a little bit closer, you can get through the 2 pairs of shoulders we have here. I think that might be Mike there, and I'm not sure who any of these people are because I can only see the back. Either way, we want this shot to be a little bit cleaner, the worship leader here. 8:36. Camera 2. All right, so camera 2 here, the shot of me. And I'm not pulling this out because it's me. I look weird regardless. And look at that ponytail. It's weird looking. Anyway, what we have right here is whoever, I honestly don't even remember who is shooting what at this point. This shot probably just needs to be, whoever's running the camera here probably just needs to move to the right. And move me a little bit over here. So, nope. Like, that's about right there. And then you would also get a little bit of a cleaner shot. You can see what I'm doing and playing. And right now Scott's just kind of blocking it. I'm not sure. I can't remember what the crowd looked like, so that might have been part of it too. All right, 10:18. All right, yeah. So I get what's trying to happen here. And this could work if we were doing like a spy thriller and he was hiding behind it. But we still do want to see Caleb here on this shot. Maybe try to frame him in with a little bit covering his face, but even then that would be kind of weird. I get what's trying to happen, but it kind of just, it's not working because it feels like if you were sitting in the congregation and Caleb was the only one playing, this would be a really terrible seat. So one thing to keep in mind when you're trying to get these artsier shots is if that person was the only person in the room making music and you were in the audience, would this be a helpful shot? Or would it feel all right to you to take that, to watch from that angle in that specific context? All right. 11:21. Camera 4. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this one was me being a little bit nitpicky. Josh is kind of being framed in by Dan and audience member here, and then Morgan over here. Just feels like a little bit too much negative space, and I would maybe punch in a little bit. I gotta quit doing it that way. like get him over here, or maybe even like that would have been better. And maybe going to the left a little bit. I mean, the cross, since the cross is so skinny, it doesn't feel like it's really taking up any space. And that's humans do a better job at filling space than a lot of, I don't want to call it the cross piece of furniture, but a set piece like the cross. And we want to, yeah, I mean, if we could, I would have him over here and have the camera operator take a big step to the left, and then get more of Josh playing here, maybe get the headstock in there a little bit, or at least closer to the headstock. And so it just feels better. You can even do just a little bit of the haircut like I got here, or you can just zoom in, zoom out just a tiny bit, and then get it like that. Either way, it just feels a little strange. When we watch it back, it feels a little bit negative spacey here. I mean, it's an okay shot, but it's not a great shot. 11:57. All right. Oh, yeah. So we have 2 shots of Josh here, and that, again, this is me being a little bit nitpicky. When you are grabbing your mark, and by mark I mean whoever you're filming, try to see where they're pointing and point at something else. That can't always happen where we are, and we have no way of communicating with each other other than waving people down, and that's not super helpful during church. So, yeah, try to this doesn't happen terribly often either, but sometimes there's been a couple of occasions where we have the safety shot up here, and then all 3 of these shots are just different angles of somebody who is doing something, but like one of them isn't on the worship leader, or some of them, or all 3 of them are on the worship leader when the full band is going. So we know that there's something else going on. All right. And 2:29 was the last one here. Or no, 12:29. Oh, yeah. All right. So, a couple of things here to pay attention to. Camera 2 doesn't really have anything going on. It looks like we're trying to get Chris because he's in focus here. And then we have Becca George right here, but she's super out of focus. So we just need to make sure that, especially at the end here, that's about the only time I want the three mobile cameras to be pointing at the same person, is when it's Chris at the end here. But yeah, camera 2 doesn't look like it's getting anything in particular. And camera 4 here is giving Chris a little bit of a haircut here. And that's cool when you're trying to capture things that are happening, but think of this as, so Chris is speaking directly to the camera. And if this were a YouTube video where somebody was talking to you directly and they cut off part of their head, that'd be super distracting. And it's the same idea here. So Chris is talking directly to the camera. So like, you want to punch out maybe just about 10% so you get all of his head in there. And yeah, other than that, that is what I have for Easter. If you guys have questions, certainly ask them in the comments, and we'll talk in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.